Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Top 10 MLS Players Right Now. I'm your host, Ryan Anderson, and the first episode, is about the goalkeepers. This is the top 10 MLS goalkeepers right now based on the stats from the past two seasons and the first two games of the 2020 season. How did we make this list? We ran the stats through the goal system 4000, our objective methodology, without emotion and or bias to create this list. We have the top 10 goalkeepers and a just missed list, and I will talk about it starting with the just missed list. The just missed goalkeepers were Clint Irwin, Clement Diol, Eloy Room, Steve Clark, Matt Turner, Joe Willis, and Daniel Vega. Some of these goalkeepers missed the top 10 over being a small sample size. Some of them were just not better than what is on the top 10. Like Eloy Room or Clement Diol, they have a very high potential to be a great goalkeeper right now in the MLS, but since they haven't played that much over the past two seasons and the first two games of the MLS seasons, and CONCACAF and Open Cup don't count here because not every team are in those competitions. This is just over regular season play. They are on the just missed list. Clint Irwin, because of that one season as a full-on backup for TFC in 2018 and then 2019, he didn't really play much as well with the Rapids. He's on the just missed list. Steve Clark, because of Jeff Attinella being the starter for the Portland Timbers in 2018, puts him on this list, even though Steve Clark is the starter now. Matt Turner, for the Revolution, it's kind of a battery platoon, so that's what puts him on the just miss list. Joe Willis is basically brand new backup for the Dynamo, now the starter for Nashville SC, even though he took over in 2019. He was still more of a backup in 2018. That's what puts him on the just miss list. And Daniel Vega, he's basically a new commodity. Good pickup by the San Jose Earthquakes. I think he has potential, but he deserves to be on the just miss list. Number 10, for Minnesota United, Tyler Miller. He is number 10 on the list. He has had 63 starts and appearances over the past two seasons. He has played 5,670 minutes. He has 19 clean sheets, 192 saves, 81 goals allowed, 9 penalty kicks allowed against 11 attempts, 36 wins, 10 losses, and 17 draws in the past 2 years plus the first two games. Traded from LAFC to Minnesota United before the 2020 season. Now he's their number one. He's a good goalkeeper. I like him at number 10. I like it. Good goalkeeper. Deserves to be on the list. I think he got wrongly traded by LAFC because I don't think Kenneth Vermeer is any much better than him. He got wrongly traded. I feel sorry for Tyler Miller, but the stats say he's number 10. The analytics say he's number 10. I'd say he's a little bit higher myself, but the analytics put him at number 10. I think that's a good place for him. He deserves to be on the list. He's a good goalkeeper. That is good for him. Number 9, Maxime Crepeau of the Vancouver Whitecaps, where he had 28 starts and appearances, just 28 appearances overall, 2,520 minutes, 6 clean sheets, 116 saves, 49 goals allowed, 7 against 7 on the PK, 7 allowed off 7 attempts, and 8 wins, 14 losses, and 6 draws for the Vancouver Whitecaps. I think Maxime Crepeau has way more potential than to be number 9 on this list, but with basically his emergence being last year and the fact that he played in the USL for the year before with the Ottawa Fury, which that would be kind of unfair to add that into his statistics. In MLS, he's done well, but playing for Vancouver makes him look a little bit worse. And I get why he's number 9, but he makes Vancouver look better than if he wasn't the starting goalkeeper, which is sad because if he wasn't playing goal for Vancouver, oh boy, how much worse would they be? We don't know. Maxime Crepeau, I think, deserves higher than 9. He deserves to be around the top 6, maybe 5, but the stats put him at number 9. So that's what that is for him. Number 8, David Bingham of the LA Galaxy. 69 starts and appearances over the past 2 seasons, plus the first 2 games. 6,210 minutes played, 16 clean sheets, 266 saves, 121 goals allowed, 12 allowed penalty kicks over 17 attempts. Pozuelo is one of them. 29 wins, 27 losses, 13 draws. I think it's fitting that David Bingham is as number 8 because if you look at it, Zlatan was the thing basically saving the Galaxy over the past 2 years. Yes, Bingham did a serviceable job as a goalkeeper. I admit that. But Zlatan is probably what made the Galaxy tick. And looking at it with Chicharito, they're playing the same exact way, and it just doesn't work when it comes to the Galaxy. So David Bingham deserves to be 8. He probably doesn't even deserve to be on the list, but if he is in the top 10, great spot for him. You know, that's what it is. Number 7, Luis Robles of Inter Miami CF. Went there over the offseason as a free agent. 66 starts and appearances. 5,940 minutes played. 23 clean sheets. 181 saves. 83 goals allowed. 9 penalties allowed on 11 attempts. 34 wins, 22 losses, and 10 draws. He won a Supporter Shield with the New York Red Bulls in 2018, which is in the data set. He's a good goalkeeper, but I think he's falling off. 7 is right for him. He doesn't really look that good with Miami. Granted, they're an expansion team, and he's probably their 3rd best player behind Rodolfo Pizarro and that young designated player. Actually, probably 2nd. But he's their 2nd best player. It's good to have a goalkeeper as your 2nd best player, but when you don't have a striker and all you have is an attacking midfielder, yeah, it's not going to end well. You're an expansion team. So, I mean, it's fitting, but he's kind of falling off as well, which is why the Red Bulls let him go. So, yeah, that's probably why that happened. So, I won't disagree there. Number 6, Bill Hamid of DC United. He has had 49 starts and appearances, 4,410 minutes played, 19 clean sheets, 186 saves, 52 goals allowed. 1 penalty kick allowed on 5 attempts, 22 wins, 13 losses, 14 draws. He's a great goalkeeper. And the thing that probably put him lower on this list was the fact he went over to Europe and then subsequently failed and then came back to DC United. But if he didn't do that, he'd probably be higher. Bill Hamid deserves more respect than number 6, but I'm not the person who made this list. It's all about the statistics and the analytics. The goal system 4,000. It's not it has no emotion, has no bias. He's at number 6. Doesn't even look at the causes of why the games were lower. So that's what that is. So I think Bill Hamid deserves the spot, or he deserves the better spot, but I get why he's at number 6. Number 5, Quentin Westberg of Toronto FC. 30 starts and appearances, 2,685 minutes played, 5 clean sheets, 81 saves, 43 goals allowed, 7 penalties allowed on 10 attempts, 10, 9, and 10, 10 wins, 9 losses, 10 draws. He's a good goalkeeper. He deserves more than number 5. In my eyes, he's in the top 3. But statistically, only playing a season in the first 2 games, that knocked him down a little bit. He's a good goalkeeper. At least you could tell he's a great goalkeeper. He saved Toronto's hind end more times than you can count. Yeah, I mean, Quentin Westberg deserves higher, but I get why he's number 5. He's a good goalkeeper, but sadly, he's number 5 because of only the 1 season and the fact that Toronto didn't really look good up until the second half of that season. But it wasn't his fault. It was more Eric Zavaleta and Drew Moore and all that. But mostly Eric Zavaleta. But injuries. Number 4, Tim Melia of Sporting Kansas City. 68 starts and appearances, 6,120 minutes played, 20 clean sheets, 122 saves, 101 goals allowed, 6 penalties allowed on 12 attempts, and that would be 30 wins, 23 losses, 15 draws. Good goalkeeper. I respect Tim Melia. He's probably one of the better middle era MLS goalkeepers. Not like the Westberg era and not the Raimondo era, but down the middle, early 2010s, mid-2010s, breakouts. Still a great goalkeeper. Tim Melia's got a lot of years ahead of him. Hopefully most of them with Sporting Kansas City. Hopefully he's a one-club man. I think he deserves to be that. Tim Melia, always been a great goalkeeper. Fun to watch. Like, he is a special goalkeeper. I enjoy watching him play. I think 4 or 3 is right for him. I think this is the spot that's right for him. He was 1 back in the day, but I did not do those lists because this is the first top 10 list. But, or announce those lists, not make them, announce them. But, if it was like 2012, he would have been first. If it was like 2015, first. But now, sadly, if it was the early 2010s, he would have been first. Now, he's down the middle, but in the upper part of the middle, but he's not in the rare air. Number 3, Sean Johnson in New York City FC. No. Here we go. 63 starts and appearances, 5,670 minutes played, 17 clean sheets, 191 saves, 79 goals allowed, 9 penalties allowed on 13 attempts. One of them, or actually 3 of them were post-Walo. Well, 2 if this is regular season. 2 were post-Walo. 29 wins, 17 losses, 17 draws. Sean Johnson has done very well for New York City FC. If they did not have him, they would be in some problems. It would not be good for them at all. It is great that they have him because I respect the fact he's a good goalkeeper. He has done better since he has started with a fire. He has grown. He has matured into a great goalkeeper. He has matured into a possible number 1 for the U.S. men's national team because I actually do think he's better than Zach Steffen. Holding for boos because I know y'all are going to boo me. But I'm right. I'm surprised I'm saying this because people are like, aren't you a Toronto fan? And like the rent-free thing. True, but see, I'm wearing a suit. I'm not wearing a Toronto jersey or any shirt. I'm not trying to be biased here. He's a good goalkeeper. I respect him. Great goalkeeper. He deserves to be in the top 3. I agree with it. Number 2 of Atlanta United, Brad Guzan. Brad Guzan has had 69 starts out of 70 appearances, 6,154 minutes played, 22 clean sheets, 178 saves, 86 goals allowed, 9 penalties allowed on 12 attempts, 40 wins, 18 losses, 10 draws, and has won an MLS Cup and a U.S. Open Cup and a Campeones Cup as a member of Atlanta United, but an MLS Cup in the data set. Great goalkeeper. I think he was a great pickup for Atlanta United. I would love to see him play more than he already does, but he plays all the time. Good goalkeeper. Respectful or respectable. Great goalkeeper, does well, does his job well, makes Atlanta even better than they already are. And you're like, but it's the offense. It's not with Frank de Boer. With Tata, maybe. Frank de Boer, not really. But you could see he makes a lot of saves, does a lot for the team, plays a lot of minutes. He has won 40 games and 50 point earned games out of 68 or 70. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. I would always respect that. And number 1, we're in the rare air now. Number 1, Stephen Fry of the Seattle Sounders, current MLS Cup champion of 2019. Also won one in 2016 and made it to one in 2018, but won one in 2019 in the data set. Current champion, Stephen Fry, 69 starts and appearances, 6,210 minutes played, which is actually the most on this list. 17 clean sheets, 234 saves, 85 goals allowed, 7 allowed penalties on 7 attempts, 35 wins, 20 losses, 14 draws. Stephen Fry is your champion of the top 10 MLS goalkeepers right now, and I think he deserves it. Stephen Fry is a great, great goalkeeper. I love watching him play, sadly, but he did start with Toronto, so it's not like it's a complete horrible thing. But when he's not punking out Toronto, he's fun to watch play. He's a great goalkeeper. He is always on it. He is probably, should be the captain if it wasn't for Nicolas Loidero. If it wasn't for him, Fry would be the captain of the Seattle Sounders. And I respect him wholeheartedly. Great goalkeeper, and he deserves to be number one. So, that is MLS Top 10 Goalkeepers Right Now. If you like the list, like, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell all your friends that Stephen Fry is your champion. I'm Ryan, and I'm out. Peace. See you for right backs sometime next week. Peace.